They say, how could you take a young woman that was born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn, diagnose her father with HIV and AIDS, and help her deal with the pain because it's change. Angels in heaven done sign my name, oh Lord. Angels in heaven done sign my name. You can change. Angels in heaven done sign my name. You can change. Angels in heaven done sign my name.
Good evening. You've just heard Ebony L. Ross sing the popular gospel piece, I Know I've Been Changed, by LaShawn Pace. Wasn't that powerful? Born and raised in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn, Ebony is difficult to label. She says she's a youth empowerment leader, a spiritual advocate, a foot soldier in the spread of awareness about HIV/AIDS. With a bachelor's degree and also a master's degree under her belt, there's no stopping Ebony Ross from making our world a bit better every day through her energetic activism and her musical mission. She's a member of the board of Emigrant Savings Bank Community Scholarship for Youth. She's a partner of Conscious Contact of New York, NYC Faith in Action, and also the AIDS Service Center of New York City. She's, in addition, a volunteer developer of tapping into your inner diva and swag, youth and young adult HIV/AIDS wellness event. She sings to save souls, to inspire saddened hearts, and to encourage those on a positive track to continue pushing forward. She's determined to do what her father could not do because of his death in his battle with AIDS. And that's what brings Ebony Ross here to Future Choices today. Ebony, welcome, and please tell us how HIV/AIDS changed your life.
HIV/AIDS has truly changed my life. Personally, as you mentioned, my father passed away from AIDS, and you know, it was a challenging point in my life. But through
How old were you then?
He passed away when I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was 16 years old, and you know, it was challenging. I was trying to figure it all out. You know, was it my fault? I was a little confused. But what I can say is, with the help of organizations and the power of prayer, today I sit before you as someone who does understand. And I know that HIV and AIDS is an epidemic, that love is something that's totally, totally necessary for us to come together as one and educate ourselves about the issue.
Now, how long before he died did you know that your father had HIV/AIDS?
I knew approximately 4 years.
So
about
you were
4
12.
years. Yeah, I was about 12 years old.
That's
about
a very fragile time in any girl's life. How did you react to it? Were you afraid of him?
No. I wasn't afraid. My father, before he informed me that he was HIV positive, he had issues with respect to alcohol and narcotics. So, you know, it was a challenging journey even before I found out that he was diagnosed. But by the grace of God, he actually stopped using drugs and stopped using alcohol, and he began to go to church with the family. And I thought I was the Cosby Kid, friend. I literally thought I was a Cosby Kid. I was so excited. I was so happy.
That made a lot of difference to you.
It really did. It really did.
And where was your mother in all this?
She was involved to a certain degree. You know, they had their issues. amongst themselves. And, because of that, my family, extended family members had to step in and assist and help. I can't imagine being, the wife of somebody that's HIV positive and also having to go through the trials and tribulations of dealing with somebody that's using drugs and alcohol. So it was a lot of trials and tribulations, I can imagine, on her end, as well as myself as a child.
And did you have siblings?
Yes, I have one brother, and we're 7 years apart, although he thinks he's older than me. We're 7 years apart. So, he was there too, trying to figure it all out, trying to understand. But the beauty of it is that we were introduced to an organization called the AIDS Service Center NYC. And the AIDS Service Center NYC is an amazing nonprofit organization that helps people that are HIV positive, people that are not HIV positive, but people that just want to help one another. And I began to volunteer with them. And
soon after your father was diagnosed?
After he was diagnosed, and it totally helped with the process. Now, I don't want to say that immediately I was like, oh, yes, like, I'm so over this, and I understand, and I'm going to go out into the world and be an advocate for HIV and AIDS. I can't say that, Fran.
Were you embarrassed at first?
I don't necessarily think it was embarrassment. I think it was more of disappointment. It was hurt. It was pain.
Hurt that God could do this to you, or hurt that your father could do this to you? Or
hurt that we had gone through all of that, became what I thought, became what I thought was the Cosby family, and then I found out the diagnosis. So it was just like, wow. Like, how much more, am I going to be able to withstand? That, as a child, that's what I imagined.
So that's what the Awareness Center helped you?
The AIDS Service Center NYC, through volunteering and help and, assisting them, I learned more about HIV and AIDS. But even as I began to volunteer, I still was angry. I still was hurt. I still, was trying to figure out, why did this happen? And I think as time went on, I found myself involved in young people activities, a lot of youth activities. I did work with the NAACP, and I had opportunities to meet other people that might have been experiencing things that I went through. But even then, I still there was hurt that I didn't necessarily know that I still had as the years went by. But I think when it began to unfold is when I began to build my relationship with my higher power. And I began to understand that it wasn't my fault, and that I wasn't the only person in the world that had experienced this.
That's so important.
So it was like a rainbow. It was like light, there was sun, and but it was a process. It was a process. And
speaking of process, how did you deal with your friends? Did they know that what was happening at your home?
Well, to be quite honest,
because friends are so important at that age.
Yes, they are so important. In the beginning, they didn't know. In the beginning, it was, my dad had cancer. And then the other part of it is, in the beginning, no one really knew that anything was going on. And it could have been from me, maybe I was in denial, or I wasn't too sure. So my way out was to participate in extracurricular activities. I joined every single activity that you can imagine, Fran. And I think part of me doing that was, it was a way for me to not deal with what was going on at home. So when the day came when my dad actually died, it was a shock to my friends, because they had no idea that he was sick. They had no idea that I had personally went through, an experience with an alcoholic parent, narcotic parent. It was just something that I kept to myself. Now, as time went on, then, as I got comfortable and I began to educate myself and understand that it's okay to share, it's okay to know that it's not my fault, eventually I told my friends what it really was, and what I really had gone through. And the beautiful thing about it was that they were supportive.
Oh.
They were so supportive, and you know that's what I'm trying to say. It's about love. It's about love, because there's so many people that might be going through things that we don't even know about, but they smile. You know, they put up this, you know, facade that everything's okay, but it really, there's possibility that it's not. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and was it the AIDS Center that helped you understand what was going on and understand what was what you were saying wasn't happening in inside you?
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
Oh man, the AIDS Service Center NYC, I'm the executive director, is Sharon Duke. They have peer support programs. They have open dialogue about HIV and AIDS, and the theme of it all is that there's life after HIV and AIDS. You know, it's not a diagnosis and then you're gonna die. It's a diagnosis, and with education, support, love, and proper medicine, there's life, and you can live. And you know, as a young person, I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Even though in the beginning I still was a little like, oh, I don't really know if I want to be here. I'm not really sure if this is what I want to do. But I continue to give it a try. I continue to open myself up and to learn more about it. But
were you involved in your singing all this time?
Well, that's the other aspect of it. What I was going to say was the work with the AIDS Service Center NYC was just the beginning steps. Because even when I was there in the beginning, I still was a little, you know, reluctant. But as time went on, I began to build a personal relationship with God. And, you know, I always knew that I could sing, but I said, you know, education is important. It's the first, you know, first priority. I don't know if I want to pursue the arts. And in 2006, it was literally like an epiphany. And it was, I can't quite explain it. It might sound a little odd, but it was this voice that I heard. And I was like, okay, it has to be God. And he told me, you know what? You have to sing. You know, you have to go out and share your story with other people, because you're not the only one. So as I began to listen to the voice that I thought was a little odd, you know, I took a risk. I took a risk. I had graduated, got my master's degree, and I left my full-time job, and I said, okay, God, me and you, if this is what you want me to do, I don't know where to start or where to begin. But I was supposed to sing contemporary gospel. I was supposed to sing inspirational songs, uplifting songs, songs for the people that might be hurt or confused, or might, you know, have an HIV parent and not know where to turn. And in doing
songs like the one that you opened the show with.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. It was like therapy. And what I didn't understand was that in me answering the call, it wasn't just about the other people. It was also about therapy to me. Like in me, you know, opening up and sharing my story and, you know, being comfortable with what the situation was, I began to heal. And the pain that I didn't even know that I still had, it began to disappear. I found myself singing at events for HIV and AIDS education programs. And I was saying to myself, what am I doing here? Like, there was a point in time when I didn't want to be bothered with the topic, mainly because I was upset and I was angry. But I just kept finding myself in these HIV and AIDS arenas where I was asked to sing. And I was asked to, you know, tell my testimony. And that's just, it just goes to show you that God is real. And, you know, what we initially think is the worst tribulation that we can go through can in the end be the heroic thing to save us. It can be the thing that can help us to help other people. So I feel good.
That's great. Now, you also said that you're a volunteer developer of tapping into your inner diva and swag. Tell me about what is that program all about?
Okay, inner diva and swag. You know, when you think of a diva, you think of people such as Beyonce. You know, she's beautiful, she's fantastic, everyone loves her. You know, and when you think of swag, you think of possibly Jay-Z. You know, someone that's cool, calm, collective. He has it all together. And I was presented with the opportunity to do some youth activities in East New York, Brooklyn, which is where my church is located. And it's with an organization called Faith in Action. And they said, you know, there's young people out there that might want to, you know, learn about HIV and AIDS, and, you know, you have a story of when you was a young person, you know, maybe you should consider it. And I pondered on it, and I said, oh, I don't know. But I realized that I had to do it. I had to.
You were going to develop this program all by yourself?
I was going to, I don't necessarily say by myself, but I was going to go into the community center in East New York, Brooklyn, and tell them that we wanted to set up workshops for the young people within that complex. Yeah, teenagers. It's young people between the ages of 12 and 25.
Well,
yeah,
that's a
12 and 25, and we have several workshops: HIV and AIDS, STD, STI. Family planning, teen pregnancy, and then we also have a motivational panel where we have people who might have experienced, you know, negative things in their life, and they come back and they sit on a panel to inspire the young people to try to avoid some of the mistakes that they made.
Now this sounds like a social worker, and why would any of these cool kids want to be into a social work kind of
atmosphere?
Why would they give you more than 5 minutes?
I think it's the approach. I think it's the approach. You know, when we go out there, it's not necessarily you should do this and you need to be that. It's more of, here are some opportunities. These people took this, you know, walk, and it didn't necessarily work out for them. What do you want to do? You know, and it's a wellness program, and we use diva and swag as almost bait on a ride, because those are terms that they identify with. And, you know,
these are kids from the projects?
These are kids from the neighborhood. Some of them live in the public housing facilities. Some of them are from other boroughs, but they all come together in this one location to learn and to express themselves. And then the other great thing about it is that we let them almost freestyle. We let them sit in a group, let them talk. We have the facilitators come and facilitate the program, but we want them to express themselves, because it's about them. It's about them making the decisions. You know, we provide the information and we want them to make the best choices, but at the end of the day, we're only there to give them information.
Yeah.
So it's
and
great.
These will tend to be groups of how many people?
We usually have between 75 and 100 young people per workshop. And yeah, it's great. And what we do is we separate the young men from the young women, you know, because we want them to feel comfortable. And the guys, they talk, and, you know, they express themselves, and then the girls, they talk and they express themselves. And then in the end, at the motivational panel, we bring them together, and then they share.
Now, do the guys learn about the family planning also?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, that's
yes,
great.
they do. Yes, they do.
They're part of it all.
They're a big part of it.
And this is, how many sessions are in any one workshop?
We have 4 to 5 workshops in one event, but per year it's about 4 to 5 events. So it's not, you know, every week that we have it. So when we do have it, we try to give them as much support as we can. The beautiful part of it is, because we don't have it consecutively, we try to let them know, well, you know, we won't be here every week, but the church, Trinity Pentecostal House of Prayer, is also connected to this program, and we're located here. If you want to come and you want to talk, and, you know, you need support or things of that nature.
And do you get to know the kids, or can you think of kids that you've watched go through these sessions that you've seen their change and think, oh, yes?
Yes, definitely. We've had young people that have come in that have been so shy. You know, they're hot in the corner, or they're not sure if they really want to be there. Some attitude, you know, they don't know, you know, so they come in with a blind eye. And then we have another workshop, see the same person, you know, and I'm saying, hey, I remember you, you know, from the other workshop, and they're more comfortable. And then the next workshop, you see the transformation as the workshops, you know, go by, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And, you know, East New York, Brooklyn is not the richest, neighborhood in Brooklyn. It's impoverished, low income individuals, some individuals that believe that there's no way out, helpless,
Yes.
And it just goes to show you that there is hope within the community. People do care. Young people want to build their own fences. They want to express themselves, and it's just beautiful. And I'm just playing a small little part. Small. It's not about me. It's really not. So
It's about working with them
Yes.
to bring it all together. Now, it's interesting to me. I first met you back in April, May, at a reception at Planned Parenthood Federation, the national headquarters, for the incoming director of their international affairs program. But what you're telling me about so far, it doesn't seem to be very international. What was the reason that you were at the international division?
Sure, the connection. As I mentioned, I do work with Faith in Action, United Church of Christ, and I had the pleasure of attending the United Nations high-level and civil society meeting. And the representatives...
Meeting focusing on HIV?
HIV and AIDS, people from all over the world came.
Wow.
It was amazing. And, volunteer effort. And because I attended those meetings, they said, oh, well, maybe you should, go to this. And, because the individuals that were going to be at the same meeting that me and you were at, they were also at the high-level meeting. And
what did you learn from some of the other delegates from
around the world?
From other places?
Oh my God, friend. It was just, I was like a kid in a candy store. Here I am. No, really, here I am. I'm a young girl from Brooklyn, I've been certain places, different places around the world, but I have never, met people from Egypt and, so many different places internationally, and they were all here for one common reason: HIV and AIDS, education. They all, talked about the different things that they were doing in their countries, the progress that they were making, and it just helped me to understand that it's bigger than the United States. It's so much bigger, and there's so many different people around the world that are trying to make an effort towards, finding a cure, supporting people that are HIV positive. And the main thing that it taught me was that love is so important. At the end of the high-level meeting, the faith community came together and they had an amazing breakfast. People from all different denominations around the world, they came and they spoke about, the fact that love is so important with respect to HIV and AIDS. So it was an amazing international experience.
Now that's got to be very, because in many countries, it's people with suffering from HIV/AIDS, or living with HIV/AIDS, I should say, are stigmatized terribly. But they are able, even in those circumstances, to bring the acceptance level. It must be very challenging.
Yes.
Similarly, do you find that also in New York, that it's still a fair amount of stigma surrounding HIV/AIDS?
HIV. To be honest, yeah. We still have some people that are ignorant to the issue. But I can't really even blame them. When you don't know, you don't know. And that's why it's so important for people that are aware of the issue of HIV and AIDS to go out and be foot soldiers and educate those people that don't really know. Like you have people that think, oh, if I hug, somebody that's HIV positive, I'm gonna catch it. If I kiss someone on the cheek, I'm gonna catch it. And it's not that easy. It's really not that easy. And I just feel so blessed that, I received that information early on, and I hug HIV people all day long. I embrace them because honestly, in my opinion, I feel like we're all affected. You have those people that are infected, but I feel like we're all affected by this. And people need to be loved, and they need to know that we're there to support them. So
that is the essential message that you want to share with our audience is that love is a great medicine?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm not, I'm not talking about, a lot of times when you talk about love, you might think of intimacy and, boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm just talking about love, all type of relationships. It heals so much. It really does. Sometimes you might give somebody a hug, and that might have been the only hug that they received in a month.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, wow. And they brighten up, and you might not even know why. And there's just so many people walking around in pain and, hurting, and I just feel like, what better cure but love?
Well, that's a wonderful message that you have been sharing with Ebony. It brings a song to my heart, and I hope that I could have gone through a change, as you described in your song, thanks to your very kind words. And I hope this has been equally uplifting for my friends and neighbors in Westchester County. Thank you, and good night.
You know that I know I've been changed. Can't you see I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. Angels in heaven done sign my name. Well, if you don't believe that I've been redeemed, oh Lord, angels in heaven done sign my name. Well, follow me down to that old Jordan stream. Angels in heaven done sign my name. You know that I know I've been changed. Can't you see I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. Angels in heaven done sign my name. I said I stepped in the water, and the water was cold. Yeah, angels in heaven done sign my name. Well, it chilled my body, but not my soul. Angels in heaven done sign my name. You know that I know I've been changed. Can't you see I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. Angels in heaven done sign my name. Now wait a minute. They say, how could you take a young woman that was born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn, diagnose her father with HIV and AIDS, and help her deal with the pain because it's change? Angels in heaven done sign my name. Oh Lord, angels in heaven done sign my name. You can change. Angels in heaven done sign my name. You can change.